Hi, it's Sunday and I'm always very bored on Sundays. So I guess I'm gonna review for you guys the latest film which I watched at the local Cineplex. This film, also known as The Cabin in the Woods. The Cabin in the Woods, yeah, it's nothing that you haven't seen before. Blonde girls getting their throats cut because they are promiscuous, and the jock, the athlete, dying, and the slacker getting it because from the killing monster because he is a slacker. And often in these films, the nerds, they survive at the end. But The Cabin in the Woods is an atypical horror slasher film because it contains several other aspects which I'm not gonna divulge for you here, but it's something like that. We have these 5 archetypes of from the horror slasher universe: the athlete, the skank, the slacker, the nerd, and the virgin, going on to Winnebago for a camping trip at the athlete's cousin's cabin somewhere in the woods, out in the rural United States, and they are gonna have a weekend of partying and probably sex and alcohol and smoking weed and all of these things that American college students do while they are partying. But unknown to these 5 people, they have been lured into a trap. And this trap, and since The Cabin in the Woods have had its premiere in the United States, I'm going to divulge some of the plot to you. That near this cabin where the 5 people are gonna have this weekend, there's this control room laboratory thing where they can control all events happening in the area in and around the cabin, and they can summon monsters and all other shit. But this can only happen if the people who are lured to the cabin choose what happens to them by themselves. So yeah, and that's a bit something you haven't seen before in a horror film. The people who the story is centered around having to choose their own fate. That's a bit something new, and yeah, and maybe as some guy on a blog, I'm gonna leave a link to that blog down here, and yeah, and he writes maybe that the whole thing about The Cabin in the Woods is something about that the 5 people who are lured to the cabin and having them closed into this space and having them had to be sacrificed to appease the ancient ones who are gonna get loose if the people don't die in agony, and the ancient ones are gonna destroy mankind. Maybe all this is a metaphor for violence in our society, but I don't know. Maybe he's right or maybe he isn't right. But well, then again, it seemed also to me while watching A Cabin in the Woods that this film, it seemed like something more, and maybe the blogger who wrote that article is right, or maybe he's not right. But it's up to you guys. If you have seen it, what do you think about The Cabin in the Woods? And yeah, but it's an okay film if you can handle horror slasher and some nudity. In one of the early scenes in the film, and here's a spoiler, you get to see the character, the skank as she is referred to, Jules, take off her top, and you see her well-formed breasts in full view, and that's something. That's a good thing about this film. Nudity. Blonde nudity, and there's also a scene where Jules, she does a very sexy dance in some extremely skimpy shorts, but yeah, but her character is short-lived. But again, if you can handle slasher films and horror and monsters, then you should go check out A Cabin in the Woods. The Cabin in the Woods, sorry. And yeah, so what else is there to say about it? Go check it out if it's still playing at your local multiplex, and yeah. But don't say I didn't warn you. It is a slasher film, so if you can't handle people getting having their heads chopped off, or someone getting their belly pierced by a metal thing, or there's also a scene where this monster eats a guy, and if you and the blood splatters out everywhere. So if you can't handle that, then you shouldn't go watch A Cabin in the Woods. And it is especially not for people with heart conditions and people who easily get nervous. So, but if you aren't one of those people, then you should go check it out. 4 out of 5 Coca-Cola bottles for me. But that's it. Euroman of Euroman's Movie Report checking out, and next week I will be reviewing Adi 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 Aisha Isha Ish. If you can guess what that is, then you tune in next week, and yeah, and it's something to do with a guy with a long black beard who goes to New York and gets into all kind of trouble. And yeah, bye.